Hey travelers, so today I want to talk about the Philosopher's Stone and the Elixir of Life. Now, if you're an alchemist, if you're a traveler, if you're someone who's, I don't really like the word seeking, but if you're someone who's seeking, someone who's trying to understand the universe through self-understanding and trying to understand yourself through the universe, well, this video is for you. Perhaps you've heard about the Philosopher's Stone. Perhaps you think it is actually a physical stone. This is actually a nice stone. This is a sodalite. It's not the Philosopher's Stone, although it has a good energy to communicate and to philosophize and brainstorm with people. And the Elixir of Life. But this is going to be my own take on it, my own understanding through my own experiences and my own little things. And I guess you will encounter many alchemists in your life, and they all might tell you that they have found their Philosopher's Stone. They might tell you that they're still looking for it. They might even claim to own it, or to be able to give it to you. Well, let me give you mine. I think the Philosopher's Stone, which is supposed to bring immortality, right? It isn't so much a stone or something that is that much physical. If anything, it's the consolidating of our spiritual essence so that it remains after death. So that as we die, we get to keep the same soul, that it gets to be a certain way and we can reincarnate and we kind of remember our past lives. So people would say that it's a stone that grants you immortality, but I don't want to fuck up your matrix, or perhaps you're powerful enough to do so, but I don't think it's possible to be physically immortal, right? So the allegory is in the spiritual. But at the same time, you could argue that as above, so below. Yeah, how do you consolidate your Philosopher's Stone? How do you make sure you have a soul? This is like recognizing your higher self. It's the main process of alchemy. It's mainly how you do magic. It's by recognizing your spiritual essence. It's by traveling. Like if you're astral traveling, chances are at your death you'll be able to travel a little bit better if you're actually aware of your own karma as you're like playing it. If you're aware of all the good deeds you do, all the bad deeds, according to your own system of good and bad, you should listen to yourself. If you know that, you're going to be able to travel a bit everywhere. So if you're able to travel like that, if you've consolidated your soul enough to actually be an entity, if you even have a form, it's going to be way easier for you to transcend this physicality. A lot of people today think that they're going to heaven or hell. While it is true to some extent, you build your own matrix again. I think the way religion is used, it's used in a way so you're mind fucked, or like you're spiritually fucked when you go in the afterlife, or you don't know how to handle the spiritual aspect of life. You might have to come back here again to make the connection to the physical and the non-physical, and you might not remember things at all. You might come back with a really poor karma, depending on how pure you were according to your own sense of it. So there's this religion that's trying to stop us from having this Philosopher's Stone, but really we are the stone. We just have to recognize it. We just have to switch our focus from simply this dense physical self, this mind, or this ego, which isn't bad, it's good, but we have to go to In fact, we don't have to go anywhere. We're already there. We just have to link back these parts of ourselves, or recognize that they were never separated. I put this little picture of Sekhmet there because I was looking for, I think this God form, this entity, this alien is a good way for us to connect back to the elixir of life, actually. So what's the elixir of life? What's keeping us young? It's our sexual essence, mainly. If you're able to harness it, if you're able to recycle it, if you're able to keep it without busting it out every day, you're going to remain more youthful. You're going to be able to experience good health, or your immune system will be, it will have the energy that it needs. You won't always be needing to produce new hormones that you're ejaculating, But also, you could just cultivate your energy with someone through sexuality. When you bring two opposites together, you transcend duality in a way. So this elixir of life really, it could be linked to the Kundalini, but I don't like to use the Kundalini because I feel like it's part of a culture and like a certain heritage which I don't have access to all that much, but just raising your sexual energy to your third eye is going to, this is actually connecting the lower self and the higher self in a physical way. As above, so below. So if you're doing it in your body, if you're able to recognize both your yin and your yang in your body, you're going to connect yourself to your spiritual self. So truly learn, and the serpent eating its own tail, you can make I'm sure there's an infinite amount of analogies you can make to that, but the serpent is often linked to the spine, right? And the flow of energy that we experience as humans. So perhaps the snake eating its own tail is just the energy starting from your root, going up your head, all the way to the tip of your nose, down your tongue. If you're putting the tip of your tongue in the roof of your mouth, you're linking both yin and yang channels, because it does, and then once it's at the tip, it goes back through your tongue into your body. So this is kind of opening your chakras, if you want, or opening your dantians, opening your microcosmic orbit, opening your energy, being aware of it. At each moment, we should be aware of the magnetic flow that surrounds us. We should be aware of every little variable that comes into play. So truly, if you learn how to harness your sexual energy and you're able to consolidate a spiritual identity from it, because your will is linked so much to your sexual energy, guys. It's so linked. If you don't bust a nut for a month, if you're able to harness it, you can still orgasm. But if you're able to separate ejaculation from orgasm and you keep this elixir of life within you, you'll just remain youthful way longer, and it will help you into consolidating this Philosopher's Stone, because you won't be getting rid of too much life because you're too excited and it feels good to get relieved. You'll still get relief if you orgasm without ejaculating, by the way, but you won't be exhausted. You will have kept your life to yourself. You will have recycled it and used it for other purposes. Your balls, or your sexual center, if you're a woman also, you could ejaculate, they're both ways to spend energy. If you're able to accumulate energy through it and just use it for other things and just busting it out, then mathematically you're just keeping energy to yourself, or like you're not wasting it. It's like throwing money out the window. You don't want to do that. You want to invest with your sexual energy, invest in your own development. If you're able to bring it to your head, you're able to vitalize your organs after. Plus, you remain into this certain awareness. If you're a dude, you're going to have this feminine intuition that comes with it. So you're going to be able to approach women more easily, or be able to understand them more easily, or just you'll be this understanding force, and at the same time you'll be able to influence the hidden flows of life. But this is all with time. For you to get there at a high level anyways, you have to be pure, or you're just gonna destroy yourself. I like this Sekhmet thing, because she's the lady of the serpents. She's the one, or she's a nice force to help you harness this power, this solar power, that wants to expand and explode, just like the sun, giving life. But if you're able to use that sun for yourself, it'll give you so much energy that you'll be able to yourself give the energy that it would give, and you'll have a way better control over it, and none of it will go into the ether as a waste. So the Philosopher's Stone is our soul consolidated, because some people reach for enlightenment. They don't want to make their soul denser. They want to get lighter and lighter and lighter until there's no real boundary to their being, and then they can just go back into the oneness. But if you're an alchemist and you want to travel this matrix, a traveler, you want to consolidate it. You want to make it as pure as you possibly perceive it to be possible. You want to be as pure as you want it to, so that you incarnate and you still remember stuff. You don't have to throw away parts of your psyche because it was tainted. So it's why the spiritual work is really important in this life, because either, even if you want to dissolve into the oneness at death, or if you want to come back and reincarnate here, or elsewhere in other dimensions, even perhaps, you could come to this planet, live a 3D life, follow like a course, because it's a hard video game here, and then you just go back to your world and you've gained knowledge of the lower densities. So this is all I'm going to say right now. If you want to learn about semen retention, mainly for dudes, I invite you to look at my other videos. And for any sexually looking for conservation of the sexual energy, I invite you to look into the work of Mantak Chia, M-A-N-T-A-K, M-E-N-M-A-N-T-A-K, space Chia, C-H-I-A. And he teaches like a most a scientific way of controlling the energy, and from there you get your own experience out of it. It's called sexual kung fu. So enjoy it. See you in the astral realms, people.